Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. You're very welcome to this, our Origin Green Ambassador Program webinar. In advance of the recruitment campaign for this program, which will commence next January. So this is for the 2026 to 27 Origin Green Ambassador Program, which is our MSc in Business Sustainability, run in partnership with Bord Bia at University College Dublin. That's Michael Smurfit Graduate Business School at UCD. So you're very welcome. I'll be shortly introducing you to some of our guests. We have some very interesting and successful alumni and current participants who will be joining us for an in-conversation piece shortly. But first, I'm delighted to introduce you to Karen Connaughton, who's Industry Talent Manager with Bord Bia. Karen is going to give you an overview on Bord Bia and the context of this program, and then I'll give you a short explanation on some more detail on the program following that before we get talking to our guests. Thanks, Karen.
Great, thanks, Connor, and hello, everyone. Firstly, in case anyone who doesn't know what Bord Bia is or what we do, Bord Bia is the Irish Food Board and is a semi-state agency. Our role is to market and promote Irish food, drink and horticulture to customers worldwide on the basis of sustainability, traceability and quality. So Bord Bia provides services and supports to the Irish food and drink industry across 4 key areas. So the first area is reputation. So Bord Bia develops marketing campaigns at home and abroad to support and enhance the reputation of Irish food, drink and horticulture. You may have seen some of our quality assurance ads, sector campaigns and the Bloom campaign on TV or online recently. The next area is insight. So we provide market and consumer insights and intelligence to support the growth of the Irish food, drink and horticulture industry. The third area is growth. So we help to build the capabilities of businesses to evaluate, plan and deliver growth in priority markets. And then the fourth area is talent. So the Bord Bia's Talent Academy equips talented participants with the skills necessary to drive the growth of the food, drink and horticulture industry. So Bord Bia acts as the link between the Irish food and drink and horticulture suppliers and existing and potential customers throughout the world. And we do this via our 14 international offices. And the locations are London, Paris, Madrid, Milan, Dubai, Shanghai, New York, just to name a few. So if we look at the Bord Bia Talent Academy, we offer 4 master's programs, and these are run with leading universities in order to attract and retain talent in the Irish food, drink and horticulture industry. So the food and drink industry is Ireland's largest employer and most important Indigenous industry. And being part of the Talent Academy can take you to amazing places in your career, through your experience and through the Bord Bia Talent Academy alumni network. So the aim of the Talent Academy is to bring new talented people who are ambitious and want to make a real impact and change within the Irish food and drink industry, using their insight skills to make decisions around Irish food and drink products. And within the Talent Academy, I actually came through the programs. I was a marketing fellow in 2016, so I can honestly recommend the Talent Academy programs and the opportunities they provide. But as we look towards the Origin Green Ambassador program, this is for people who are really passionate about committing to better management of our planet's resources on a 22-month journey towards an MSc in Business Sustainability. So this program involves a combination of real-world and academic learning, blending block academic modules and live sustainability placements. So on placement, you'll be assigned to an international or national food and drink company focusing on a current sustainability brief. Previous host companies to date include Starbucks, Nestle, McDonald's, Pizza Hut, Burger King, Tesco, Aldi, Sainsbury's, to name a few. So that's just a brief overview, but I'd like to thank you all for your interest in the Origin Green Ambassador Programme. I'll hand you back over now to Connor, who'll talk more about the programme along with our current and alumni from the programmes. But I hope to see you all in assessment centres, and I wish you all the best of luck.
Thanks, Karen. That's a really nice intro on Bord Bia in the context of the program. So what's on offer? So we have 10 full scholarships. These are designed to attract and develop the next generation of talent for the food industry with sustainability expertise. So people who go through the program become highly employable, and we'll demonstrate that throughout the next half hour or so. On the program, participants combine overseas experience, and we'll explain exactly what that means, with a master's qualification at UCD Smurfit School. And there's a very strong emphasis on professional and career development throughout the program, which we'll also talk about. So it's an MSc in Business Sustainability is the qualification you get. That's a full master's program. It's a 22-month program, and people who join the program would usually have a minimum of 3 or 4 years commercial experience. From a range of, it doesn't have to necessarily be from the food industry, but you would have to demonstrate some interest and passion for pursuing a career with the food industry and sustainability. Here's our very impressive class, our current ambassadors. And so the classes that are delivered as part of the master's program, they're delivered on block release at UCD Smurfit School throughout the first 3 months or so of the program. And we have some of the world's leading faculty from the business schools here, such as NYU Stern, Harvard, and ourselves, and so on. So you really get the best education for the food industry possible. The placements are, as Karen mentioned, these are overseas placements in the most cases. They give you amazing experience in the global food industry, and some of the brands here, some of the leading global food players, speak for themselves. And each placement would be at the headquarters, generally, of these amazing organizations. There is a bursary, which is, a monthly stipend that the participants are paid to cover their living and accommodation costs throughout the program, and that's 2,600 approximately per month for the duration of the program. In addition to that, participants, all their tuition fees are paid. You get a laptop. Flights to and from your placements, if they're overseas, are covered, and some other expenses can be covered as well. The employers, just to give you a flavour of where people end up going, are shown here. Some very impressive global players. As you can see here, employment prospects are really outstanding from this program. And people who go through the program are highly employable and secure a job very quickly after the program. So in terms of the application procedure, you can see the 2 websites here. So bordbia.ie/talent academy, or through ourselves at smurfitschool.ie/Bord Bia. You can send any queries. All the details are there. You can send any queries to bordbia@ucd.ie, and we'd be delighted to help you there. Application deadline is the 18th of August, so you have plenty of time. Interviews then, so you're aware, are held in September. You can see the dates here, the 16th, 17th, 18th, 23rd, 24th, 25th of September. And then for shortlisted candidates, there would be a second round final interview, 7th, 8th, and 9th of October. And then the program, as I said earlier, starts in late January, exact date to be confirmed. So as an Orange Green ambassador, as I said, you could become highly employable. And the types of things that you will be participating in on the program, you become a very valued member of your host organization in the overseas headquarters of that organization. We'll get into the nitty-gritty on that in a few moments with our guests. You participate in projects, and you collaborate with key stakeholders internationally and here in Ireland. You advance the sustainability agenda for your host companies. Again, a highly important thing when you're going for interview following the program. And of course, everything about Bord Bia is insights-led growth, and successful companies embrace that. And so you would become very expert at distilling and sharing insights of strategic significance to the companies that you are engaging with. And you promote Origin Green, which is a highly successful, internationally recognized sustainability program. And lastly, you develop opportunities for the Irish food companies. So I'm delighted to introduce you to Mairead Comerford. Mairead is Senior Manager Responsible Sourcing at Kellogg's. Mairead is a past participant of this program, so she can speak from experience shortly on the program. She's from the class of 2021. I'm also delighted to introduce you to two of our current Origin Green ambassadors. That's David Cooney, who has had placements with Danone in Amsterdam, with Costco in Seattle. Wow, amazing locations, and is shortly starting his placement with Ornua here. And then also Emer Lynch. Emer, thank you for joining also. Emer's also a current ambassador and has been placed with Tesco in the UK, Yum Pizza Hut in the UK, amazing organizations, and is just starting with ABP here in Ireland for her final placement. David and Emer will be finishing their program in the next couple of few months, and they're at the tail end of their program, so are very well qualified to share some insights with you. So that's the intro bit over with, and I'd like to come firstly to you, Mairead. I'd like to start at the end and work back. Listeners will be most interested in finding out, why should they do the program? What are the career prospects? You're living proof of this. Can you tell us a little bit about what's your current role and how has the program benefited you in that role?
Yeah, definitely. Thanks, Connor. And hi, everyone. Yeah, definitely. The program has benefited me so much. Currently, I'm the Senior Responsible Sourcing Manager for Kellogg's in Europe. So basically, I lead responsible sourcing for Kellogg's across Europe. So that includes things.
And Mairead, we're getting a little bit. Sorry to cut across you. We're getting a little bit of feedback on your headphones there, I think. There's quite a lot of interference.
Okay. Is that any better? No?
No, it's still the same.
Okay, let me take it.
Would you mind? Thank you. Just bear with us a moment, folks. You might need to switch your audio.
Is that better?
Yes, we
Okay.
have you. Brilliant. Thanks, Mairead.
Oh, sorry about that. It worked in there. It worked earlier on.
No problem.
But these are always going.
It's actually not brilliant. It's still a bit of interference. I'm not sure. Is there something on your desk or?
No, nothing here. Do you want me to continue or?
Yeah, go ahead and we'll see how we get on.
Okay. Sorry about that. I'm not sure what's going on there. So what I was saying is basically I lead responsible sourcing for Kellogg's across Europe. What it really includes is developing and implementing strategies for key raw materials. So think things like corn, wheat, cocoa, palm oil, things like that. I work with cross-functional teams on supplier engagement, regenerative agriculture, Scope 3 emissions, and compliance with a lot of emerging EU regulation. And I think what I love most about the role is really the variety. So it's kind of cliche, but no 2 days really are the same. Like today I'm focused on human rights in our supply chains. Yesterday and most days I'm focused on greenhouse gases. Tomorrow I'll be on regenerative agriculture projects. So it's super interesting and dynamic. And really a big thing that I love is the ability to connect the big picture goals with kind of real world action as well.
Okay, there is still quite a lot of interference. I'm sorry about this, Mairead. But could you just very briefly, could you give us a couple of words that describe how you've benefited from this program in terms of getting your job and performing in your job so well?
Yeah, really, Connor, in every way, the program has benefited me. It was an amazing program, and originally I came from a finance background, so I was definitely searching for a bit more purpose in my work. And through the program and through the placements, I really gained so much international experience, exposure to sustainability strategy at a really high level, and most importantly, I think the practical project work. So I can speak to that. I can use that as experience in my current job, or speak to it in interviews and things like that as well. Really, the program helped build a lot of confidence as well. a lot of people now being able to walk into rooms with senior stakeholders and no longer feel intimidated. And really, as well, a big key is a network of peers and mentors from the program. So it's really continued to support me throughout my career as well.
Okay, brilliant. So Murray, could I suggest that you log out and log back in again, and we just see, can we
Will
get a
do.
better connection on that? Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
will
you.
do.
That's very interesting. I hope people can could hear that. So David, I'd like to come to you next, if that's okay, please.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about who these key overseas target customers are, so people understand the place, who the host organizations are, please.
Yeah, so I suppose for Irish agriculture, we do export about 90% of our dairy and beef worldwide. So it kind of puts the emphasis back on why these companies are so important, because they buy so much product off Irish companies. And for example, Danone, my first placement in Amsterdam, they're a huge buyer of Irish dairy. They have 2 plants actually in Ireland too, in Wexford and Macroom and Cork. And they process a lot of milk. They make base powders in Ireland. So basically buy the product off Irish dairies and then reprocess it again and ship that worldwide to their other factories. So for all the companies that we have been on placements with, they're huge buyers. For example, Nestle as well, that Kate was with in Switzerland too. And yeah, very important companies, extremely important to the Irish processors, due to the fact we do produce, what is it, nearly for 50 million people instead of 5 or 6 million people that are on the island. So we're heavy hitters for such a small little country. So yeah.
Yeah. So when you arrived into Danone, how did they welcome you? How did you fit in? What did you do?
Yeah, so Danone's broken into 3 separate divisions, and I was in the specialized nutrition division. So basically, instead of buying directly from farms, they buy dairy ingredients and non-dairy ingredients from co-ops, basically, and dairy businesses across the world, say Europe, US, New Zealand, etc. And where I fitted in there, I was on actually the dairy buying team, sustainability team within the buying team. And you see that a lot more these days as sustainability has become bigger. It's more integrated within buying teams across these huge FMCG companies. And so I was a responsible sourcing analyst, basically, and my manager sat beside me, and she was reporting then to the director of dairy buying. And yeah, so we're all sitting in the buying team, and it was super interesting. Great, about 6.5 months in just outside Amsterdam, and living in Amsterdam near Rembrandt Park. Great area of Amsterdam, by the way, too. Great fun there. And yeah, so the way the placements are really broken down, you might get 1 or 2 or 3 core projects, but then as Mairead kind of talked about, your day-to-day can be different, and different projects can be different, and you're roped into different things all the time in terms of maybe training the buyers, the dairy buyers on like regen agricultural practices on farm, or even the Sustainable Dairy Partnership. It was very important to Danone, and I got to attend an event in Kilkenny actually with Danone to the Sustainable Dairy Partnership. But the big core project for myself was scoping out on-farm reduction solutions for Danone for grass-fed systems. So basically they have an initiative called the Partner for Growth program, kind of a win-win scenario. They try and partner with say startups or solution providers that will drive carbon reduction on farm. And that was kind of my core project over the 6 months, and kind of always communicating and engaging with different startups and different solution providers. So yeah, super interesting, really liked it.
Okay, and just for the listeners, so you weren't dropped into Danone day one. You went through quite an intensive induction and training program at the school and at Bord Bia, so that you were kind of prepared to go in, and you were hitting the ground running, as it were. And as well as that, would it be fair to say that Danone and Costco and Seattle, which was your second placement,
Mm,
they see this as a learning journey, don't they? They don't
yeah,
expect you to know it all, be fully capable in all of
exactly.
these areas, because some of these areas are complex, right?
Yeah,
But they do expect you to, you know, learn, roll up your sleeves, become part of the team,
yeah.
and get stuck in. Is that fair?
Yeah, it is. And yeah, it's all about getting stuck in. My two placements, I was in 4 days a week in the office, and
Right.
it's all about being in the office, being in the team, meeting people day to day, and trying to get involved in as much as you can, really. And
Okay,
yeah, that's great.
and nice to see Seattle too, I'd say. How did you enjoy that?
Yeah, not bad, not bad.
The rain every day is a bit like Galway with the rain,
No,
right?
no, it's not as bad. It's the same as Ireland. People, I think, complain too much about the rain. It's
Okay.
only a bit of a drizzle, only a bit of a
Okay, not too bad, not too bad. And you're going to Ornua now, so
yeah.
another amazing Irish success story, Ornua. So you're looking forward to that?
Yeah, exactly. This week I'm remote, and next week I actually go up to the office. So really looking forward to it. And met the team this week already. Meet and greeting them all. So yeah, really looking forward to it, and to
Okay.
see it from the Irish perspective as well. So bringing my insights and my learnings back, and try to make an impact there over the next 9 or 10 weeks.
Okay, super. Well done, David, and very interesting to hear of your experiences so far. Maria, I see you're back. I'm going to come back to you shortly after Emer. So thanks for rejoining. Emer, thanks for waiting. You've been on an amazing learning journey too so far, coming towards the end of your program. Tesco UK and Yum Pizza Hut, also in the UK. Tell us a little bit about how you got on there.
Yeah, so I'm after two great placements and I'm on to placement number three. So the placements, they are great. Like, when I look back at the two placements I've had, like I wouldn't say they're always easy. They are a challenge, but it is 22 months that you are investing in yourself. So you have to keep that in mind. So my first placement with Tesco, that actually got moved from from the UK to Ireland as or not Pizza Hut, wrong company. Tesco were it's starting a sustainability team there in Dublin, but I travelled to the UK then once a month to work with different teams. But yeah, so the placements, like where would I start with it? Um, the placements they can vary significantly company to company, but you go with it, you get stuck in. Bord Bia organize and assign the placements, so that is not your responsibility, which does make it easier. And the placement companies write up or submit a placement brief, which includes who you'll be reporting to, the projects that they plan you'll be working on, the expected learning outcomes for you, and all of that. So you have that information before you arrive on the placement, and that kind of helps settle you because you have a bit of an understanding of the direction it's going. And that being said, sometimes the project briefs you might steer quite a bit off them, just simply because reasons like a project that they planned would be up and running mightn't have taken traction at the time they wanted it to, or also sometimes an opportunity comes up in placement that you see a project happening that really catches your attention, and you can kind of politely ask, look, I'm here to learn and I'm really interested in this. Do you mind if I step into that? And it's very easy for companies to allow you to do that. Like even for example, my placement on Tesco with Tesco, it was a great placement. I was 4 days in the office. Like David, I went into the office most days because you are only there for a short period, and it is that little bit easier to get to know the company, your teammates, and just to ask people questions across the table when you're there in person. But my project brief was very clear, three projects, they were my focus. But EUDR, for example, the deforestation regulation in the EU was like the hot topic at the time when I was with Tesco. And yeah, I just kind of mentioned that, I'd love to keep up to date with that for my own learning. And no problem, I was included in every weekly meeting. And sure, you might pick up a bit of work off it too, but you're there to learn. So while you do have your outcomes you're trying to achieve, you can also use the kind of I'm an intern title every now and again. to make it work for you. And
Right.
my second placement then was Pizza Hut in London. It was a totally different experience. I was seen in that office as the sustainability manager. So my 3 projects, my project brief, I ended up kind of covering an awful lot of other topics as well. So yeah, great learning opportunity. You cover so many different topics in sustainability when you have different placements. Like one placement could be focused on packaging and water. The next one could be, I don't know, the social side, carbon emissions. I don't know, you could vary so much even within one day when you're working with those different teams. So yeah, sorry, I could be after going askew on what the question was.
No, some really interesting points there. I mean, what I like as well is you mentioned about the brief. So you're not sent in and say, "Well, work it out yourself." It's a very clear framework to how you would use your time in the organization, and also to say that that there's a triangle of support for each Irish
Mhm.
Green ambassador, isn't there? So that you have Bord Bia in Dublin and in the overseas market, if they have an office in that market, and there's about 15, 16 offices overseas. You have UCD supporting remotely, and of course you have the head office of your host organization supporting you on a
Yeah.
daily basis as well. So there's a lot of support and interest in your learning and development throughout the
No, there
program.
is. And like, I think I can't remember, there was one module just as a class group during placement, and we had an online call and we were discussing things that we'd probably miss when we go out to the real world from the program. And one thing is the amount of support we have in the program currently is brilliant. Like if you have any issue when you're on placement, there are people there to listen to you and to help figure it out. And you are assigned a mentor in Bord Bia and you have monthly calls with them. And there's great support. So like sometimes with a certain project or a placement, you might feel like you're thrown into the deep or outside your comfort zone, but it's never anything you can't manage. And there's always support there as well to help you get through it.
Right. Very good. The other interesting thing you said is, putting your hands up for stuff outside of your immediate brief and getting stuck into. I mean, as you know, all three of you know, we check in with the alumni who have been through, and we have hundreds of people since 2009 who've gone through these talent programs, including the Irish and Green Ambassador program. We check in with them regularly. One of the most frequent things that people say was a factor in their success in getting promoted or getting the career that they want is putting their hand up for stuff outside of their immediate role. I mean, not spending, unreasonable amounts of time on that because you have to get your day job done, as it were. But being willing to put that hand up, just like Emer has demonstrated there, which is really nice to see it's coming through, even when you're on the program before you transition back out into this industry. Just before I leave you, Emer, before I come back to Mairead, what excites you most about your career ahead in the food industry?
Like what excites me most, I suppose, I guess when you're working in the sustainability space, you're always looking at the bigger picture. You're not, you're looking at how the companies, how the Irish food industry impacts, the environment, has an impact on the communities, society as a whole. So you're looking at that much wider picture. And it is, it's quite a complex space. There's many challenges, but with that, you do have the opportunities. And the Irish food industry has plenty of positive impacts, which is very like motivating to work in. So I find it very exciting now coming to the end of the program. Like my background was agriculture, and I've been in the food industry a few years before starting this program. But you do feel like you're coming out of the program in a very good space with a lot of knowledge and skills picked up. It's quite exciting to see, even as a class group, to see where everyone goes.
Okay, brilliant. Thanks again, Emer. That was super. Mairead, how are you getting on there with your sound?
Any better?
Oh, it's crystal clear.
Oh, sorry about that. I don't know. It's
No
never
problem.
happened
It
before.
happens. It happens. No problem. Can I ask you a similar question? What has been exciting you mostly about your career in the food industry?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think what excites me most about sustainability and particularly within food is that it is really a space where you can drive real and tangible and kind of system change. So both kind of environmentally and socially, if you go down that road as well. yeah, and as I said, I was coming from a finance background, so it's definitely looking for more purpose. So that's definitely now what excites me a lot more. And I think, yeah, within the Irish food industry, we really have such an amazing combination of, global ambition, natural assets, willingness to innovate, and things like that. So being part of that journey and helping shape kind of how we grow, how we source, how we produce food more responsibly, I think that's very exciting and very rewarding as well.
Very good. And are there any particular highlights that you could pick out from your career since leaving the program that might be of, interest to our guests hearing about?
Yeah, I think so. I think two kind of major highlights come to mind. I think firstly, I did my placement with one of my placements with Nestle in Switzerland. So one of my highlights is definitely securing a role with them afterwards. It was in a different position, so it was in Panama. So after I left my placement in Switzerland, set up by Origin Green and Bord Bia and UCD, I headed off to Panama. So that was really amazing, and I truly don't believe I would have gotten that opportunity without the ambassador program. And secondly, it's my current role really as responsible source manager in Kellogg's. It's really a job that inspires me and definitely challenges me a lot. And it's really directly linked to kind of experience, credibility, and network I built through the program as well. Even actually at the time of interviewing me for this role, my the hiring manager referenced the OGA program as being such a positive attribute and definitely helped secure the role. So yeah, I could definitely say the course opens up so many doors that might have been difficult to get in otherwise.
I mean, that is very interesting, isn't it? I mean, you went from Switzerland, Nestle in Switzerland, to Nestle in Panama, back to Kellogg's.
Yeah.
I mean, congratulations on such a successful career route to date. You're a credit to the program and to yourself. So we're all very proud of you
Thanks,
here.
Connor.
So if people are thinking about applying to this program, would you have any advice for them?
Yeah, I think yeah, I think I do have advice. I think it kind of leans into what David and Emer were saying around getting stuck in and things like that. I think you don't necessarily, it's obviously good to have experience, but you don't necessarily need that to put you off either. As I said, I came from a totally different industry, but I think what's important is that you're passionate, you're open to learning, you're really eager to contribute. So similar to what the guys are saying, I think it's important to have a why, like a clear why in your own mind. So I knew I wanted to work in the food industry and sustainability, and I was ready to kind of immerse myself into that. Practical advice I would give is I would definitely prepare for the interview. I would think about things like what markets Irish products are in, what are the challenges, risks, opportunities, what trends are at play, things like that. But yeah, I definitely say to be curious, be open to new industries and experiences, and show your passions.
So understand why you want to do the program and understand a little bit about the food industry and what makes it tick, among
Yeah,
other.
I think so.
So I see you nodding your head, David. Would you have anything else to add to that preparation for people, or anything else relating to the application process?
Yeah, just basically go onto the Bord Bia website. There's heaps and heaps of webinars and information there, and Karen can go through that maybe as well. But there's loads of information online. And what I did actually, Mick Houlihan did a webinar with the Teagasc Signpost series a couple of years ago, and it was a couple of months before I started to apply for the program, and I knew the application was coming up. So I watched that numerous times and I listened to it through my AirPods as well. I was nearly dreaming about Mick after a few weeks, to be honest. But yeah, just those kind of things. There's so much information online from a Origin Green point of view, Bord Bia point of view, and learning all that those aspects too. But also, as Mairead was saying, knowing the why and having a strong idea of why you actually want to do this program too is crucial.
Okay,
Emer, anything else to add, or have they covered it?
I think they've covered it, but I think I'd reiterate what Mairead mentioned about like Ashley and David said as well, like if it's your passion, or if you want to work in the sustainability and Irish food industry, whether you're currently in that space or whether you're not, if you want to go in that area, apply for the program. You don't have to have a food background, you don't have to have agricultural background. mean, David and I are in the same cohort now, and looking at our classmates, there's everything from music background to IT backgrounds, it's all different spaces. And we actually all benefit really well off each other because, like in the classroom and stuff, when you're discussing different topics, people have such different views on something where if we were all from the exact same background, we wouldn't have the same discussions and debates. So, yeah, I wouldn't get too concerned about on paper what you have, but if you're passionate about it, go for it.
Yeah, and it is, just to say, I mean, it is, people think it's competitive. I guess it is competitive to get a place in the program. But if I asked for a show of hands among the three of you, who were sure that you get a place in the program before you applied? That's what I thought. So you just throw your hat in the ring, don't you? And you go for it. And that's what I would encourage people to do. You have a couple of questions here. Chris has asked, will you still be considered for the scholarship even if you're currently at one of the alumni companies as mentioned earlier? Yes, we recruited people from all the range of alumni and employer companies before. That wouldn't exclude you. Do you need to have a background? This is from Maeve. Thanks, Maeve, for your question also. Do you need to have a background in sustainability or food to be considered for the scholarship? You don't have to, as Emer said, have to have any one particular piece of background or qualification, but you do have to be able to demonstrate your interest, your passion for pursuing a career in the food industry, and so that's very important. And then from Robert, thanks, Robert. What is the best way for an interested client company to learn about participating in the program? If successful, is there enough time for a brief to be considered? Yes, Robert, thank you, and nice to see you online, Robert. Give us an email on that one, and we'll look after you. I think you already have my email, or bordbia@ucd.ie, and we'll be delighted to address that, Robert. Could I ask, we're kind of getting towards the end, and if any other questions come in from the floor, please jot them into the text box and we'll do our best to address them. Could I ask any of the three of you, why do you think the programme is so important to Bord Bia and to the Irish food, drink and horticulture industry?
Sure, I'll jump in there. I suppose David mentioned it at the start, but like as a country, we're so reliant on exports. And let me start that again. I'll come around to that. But the program is educating prospective employees for the industry and giving them like invaluable experience through the placements. And it's a very successful program. So it's amazing now as an OGA in the program, when I attend different conferences in Ireland, you always come across a number of OGA alumni and meet them there. And it also, in a way, it ensures the longevity of the Origin Green program, as you're ensuring like the workforce that you have in the Irish food industry is knowledgeable in sustainability space. Like when we think of the Irish food exports that David mentioned, a lot of that is on the face of our product being a sustainable product. We have grass-fed animals, rain-fed grass, etc. And it's important for Bord Bia and Irish food industry to keep developing that talent, so we can keep those exports going.
Super, thanks, Emer. That's really strong. If anybody else has anything to add, or what opportunities? Another question for you: what opportunities do you think are being presented now for companies in the whole sustainability space? How are they capitalizing on it?
Yeah, I can jump. Or Mairead, sorry, you go ahead.
No, sorry. Yeah, but just jumping quickly, I think it kind of links to the previous question as well. But I think, yeah, with Origin Green and with sustainability in general, I think it really positions Irish food and drink as a premium, not only in terms of quality, but it's a responsible choice. And it gives companies this kind of insight that they need to meet all of the growing customer and consumer expectations around sustainability. So there is an opportunity there, and I definitely see at the moment, particularly, a lot of interest from kind of commercial sales and retailers and things like that we deal with around opportunity to commercialize and do commercial activations, and it's around sustainability. So that's really interesting at the moment. And yeah, I think with Origin Green, it's a huge opportunity because it's more than just a program, really. It's really a strategic tool in a way that connects kind of Irish food and drink to these global sustainability expectations. So I guess for Bord Bia, it's about telling credible, consistent sustainability story to international customers and customers at home. And then the ambassador program really supports that by placing these passionate professionals on the ground in these key markets, so we can both learn from there and influence multinational companies. So I really think it's a way of building mutual understanding, mutual trust, and, as you say, Conor, then opportunity for Irish exporters as well.
Thank you, Mairead. Really good. We promised we'd have you out by 1:45, so we've a couple of minutes left. But your experience in the program, what stands out as one highlight, David and Emer, since you started the program? Are you happy you did the program? Would you recommend it to our listeners? And is there one thing you would like them to that would encourage them to apply?
Yeah, I can jump in there, Conor. Actually, Jonathan Redden, a former OGA, mentioned it 2 years ago on the very same session. You kind of leapfrog a bit in terms of your career. So I was coming from on-farm advisory, but now this has given me the skills to introduce sustainability programs and to actually be a qualified sustainability professional, whether manager or analyst, after my after this course. And I think it's great to get those skills, and the highlight of the program really is to get that project management experience, that get that insight, and to be able to bring that to the next step then, and to be very much so employable. Exactly what Mairead said, her journey since the Irish and Green Ambassador program has been very impressive, and hopefully we even have half the career Mairead has had so far, myself and Emer. We'd be doing very well. So yeah, and obviously, look, you go to all these different destinations all over the world. It's absolutely fantastic. Seattle was fantastic. Amsterdam was fantastic, and yeah, I've connections made for life too. So that's another big part of it too.
Yeah.
So it's great fun and great experience.
And on the social side, for all of three of you, as you went through the placements on the program, was it good fun on the program, or how did you find that?
Yeah, Emer, I'll let you.
Thanks. No, like, I can't speak for the other cohorts, but I know the cohort that myself and David are in currently, we get on great. The WhatsApp is always hopping. David, I think we're heading out in Dublin Saturday night, I believe.
Yeah.
So no, it's a fantastic, like, you do make friends for life through it, and I expect it will be a great, even like a networking hub in years to come if we all keep that contact. It was great, like, starting the placement when you have the classroom section, the academic side, you spend a lot of time together during that phase. I think we were 8:30 to 6 on a full day. So and there's only 9 or 10 of you in the cohort depending on the year. So it's a lot of time to get to know each other, but then you're a support for each other as well when you're all out on placements, because it is quite an unusual position when you pack your bag and move to a new country, all of that, but everyone else is in the same boat as you. So we'd have the regular calls as a group, just to check in with each other. And no, it's a great friendship hub.
Okay. So listen, we're kind of gone over, but there are a couple more questions. Chris, we don't have time to address your question in detail, but there's lots of details on the Bord Bia website that might help on that. Or if there's anything more specific, you can email us. There's a number of other questions about the application and suitability. Basically, we need you to demonstrate a commitment to a career with the Irish food, drink, and horticulture industry, and that's really the most important thing, isn't it? And so to close out, Karen, is there anything else that you would like to add, or are you happy?
No, I'd just like to thank everyone for their interest in the Origin Green Ambassador Programme. I think from the webinar today and from hearing from David Emer and Mairead, the fantastic opportunity the programme provides, and also hearing from where Mairead is to date in her career, you know, where the programme really can take you. So yeah, if you do have any questions, the email address has been put in the chat box. Please send them over if you have anything. And with your application to really put forward your passion for the food and drink industry and maybe research Origin Green and some of our fantastic Irish clients who manufacture in the Republic of Ireland. That would probably come up in the assessment centre. But I hope to see some friendly faces then when we interview later on this year.
Super. Thanks, thanks, Karen. Thanks, everybody. Thank you, Mairead. Thanks, David. Thanks, Emer. We really appreciate you dropping in and sharing your very interesting stories and your successes so far. So we wish you continued success. And we thank our listeners for tuning in today, or if you're listening back on a recording, we would encourage you to pursue an application and to let us know if you have any questions. So listen, have a nice day, everybody, and thanks again.
Bye now.
Thank you.
Thank you.